Let's get more on the war in Ukraine now with Frank Ledwidge, who's a senior lecturer in military strategy at the University of Portsmouth and a former military intelligence officer. He joins us now from Oxford. Good to have you with us. Firstly, we know that visits by Vladimir Putin to the Ukrainian frontline are rare. The last time he made a trip there was in March to Mariupol. What do you think was the main purpose of this trip?
Well, there was a political signalling element there, Oscar, which Dash already mentioned, in that what we're seeing, or we saw Putin in Kherson, we saw him in Luhansk, areas that were annexed, as was said. There was also a military political element, which Dash also hinted at, in that he is seen in conference with Colonel General Teplinsky, who is the commander of the airborne forces, which has taken a front seat, not only in Bakhmut, but elsewhere on the front. So we are seeing some military politics played there as well. But of course, the primary purpose was to highlight Putin's role as commander-in-chief and to give some, I suppose, some attempt at shoring up support at home for what appears, I think, to everybody to be a somewhat faltering effort.
That's right, and that faltering effort was on display when Russian troops retreated from the city of Kherson last year. I guess Putin wants to maintain this image that Russian forces are continuing to make gains on the ground in Ukraine, perhaps to bolster his public opinion back in Russia and really revive the popularity of the war there. But what is the reality on the ground there? How would you describe Russia's advances and its progress in Ukraine right now?
Well, over the last 6 months, they've gained 0.1% of Ukraine's territory in their recent 3 months. It's slightly less than that. Of course, they've got themselves bogged down in the city or town of Bakhmut, which still is held by Ukraine. The main assault forces there are Wagner, the mercenary group, supported, as I indicated earlier, by the airborne forces. So they're, I think, by any standard, their spring offensive, if you can call it that, has failed, or at least failed on its own terms to take its objectives. The first of which, of course, is Bakhmut. And of course, what we're going to face now, what they're going to face now, what we're told they're going to face now, and almost everyone is certain they will, is a Ukrainian counteroffensive. And the question is, of course, how that will proceed over the next couple of months, and that will define the rest of the war.
Okay, Frank Ledwidge, we'll have to leave it there, but great to get your thoughts on this issue. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.